Okay, so I feel like talking about a Mars Venus conjunction in this video. I like this conjunction simply because it is very spontaneous, meaning that whenever you see this conjunction in a birth chart, many different possibilities or scenarios can come out from having this conjunction in your birth chart. But I will focus on those possible scenarios, and the main outcomes of having this conjunction in your birth chart will cause. Firstly, Mars represents male siblings, male friends, boyfriends, basically the males in your life that you will attract that aren't your husbands. Mars represents fights, arguments, and it shows what we protect, builds up tension, builds up aggression, and Mars shows what we put our energy into doing. Whereas Venus represents the females that we attract, the females that we interact with, whether girlfriends or not. It could represent your girlfriends, wives, but Venus mainly represents things like relationships. Venus shows what we are attracted to, what turns us on. And turning on doesn't have to be anything that's romantic, explicit, or sexual. It could just be something that you like, something that you just like seeing happen. So let's begin. One of the things that I like about this conjunction is that it makes someone do performing arts simply because Venus originally rules Taurus, and Taurus has a lot to do with speech, performing arts that rely on your speech. Like musicians, they have to rely on their speech a lot. Actors, actresses, people that create promos. Venus has a lot to do with the speech of an individual. So when you put Mars there, it shows a person puts their energy into their speech and their performing art skill. This is why I would notice a lot of WWE wrestlers tend to have a Mars-Venus conjunction. I think John Cena is one of those people, but I can't remember. But I would study WWE wrestlers, actors, actresses, even athletes tend to have this conjunction. Since they put a lot of their physical effort and energy into their speech, especially for things that are related to performing arts, you would see that these people are capable of cutting promos, as they call it in WWE. When a person gets a microphone and they do those long speeches, people with this conjunction tend to do those types of promos or promotions as in where you're advertising something through your speech. These people are very great at doing just that. If you are someone that's interested in doing things like acting or whatever, whenever you're given a microphone, you tend to express your artistic side through anger and frustrations. And so this anger and frustrations come out in your speech. This is why WWE wrestlers tend to have this conjunction. Guys like Hulk Hogan, maybe. I don't know if he actually has it, but I'm just giving an example because when you see someone put a lot of passion into their speech, their performing arts, even if they have to use their physical capability, which is what Mars represents, that's why those people tend to have this conjunction. Now, not everybody can be a performing artist, so let's focus on the major part of this conjunction, which happens in relationships. And I described this when I made a video regarding Richard Ramirez, a serial killer that went around raping tons of women and stuff like that. I think most of his targets were actually women. I can't remember. So if you look on your screen, you'll see Richard Ramirez's chart. And you notice that he has the Mars-Venus conjunction in his third house. Third house represents neighbors. Venus made his neighbors be a lot of females. But you notice he abused a lot of female neighbors. Why is that? Here's why. Mars represents fights and arguments, whereas Venus represents relationships, love, what turns us on. So someone with this conjunction gets turned on by physical aggression, meaning that they become passionate about love and relationships through arguing, through maybe even fighting. A Krishan Rock and Blueface type of relationship comes to my mind. The problem with being turned on by aggression and arguments, especially in relationships, is that it attracts physical abuse, and it can make someone be prone to being a part of relationships that are abusive, especially physical abusive. So people with this conjunction have an increased chance of being in relationships that involves actual fighting. So if you see a male with this conjunction in his chart, he may be turned on. He may actually get like an orgasm, a feeling of excitement by him arguing with his female companion, by him possibly being in a fight with his female companion. If a female has this conjunction, a female can easily be prone to being turned on when a male, or it doesn't even have to be a male, it could be anybody that they're in a relationship with, being aggressive and argumentative towards her. This is why you notice a lot of these relationships, especially publicized on social media, you see that those two people would be fighting with each other, nearly killing, trying to half kill each other, and next thing you know, they're cuddling. They're back together as if nothing ever happened. Regardless of your gender, since Venus represents females and Mars is fights and arguments, this can show a person that gets into lots of arguments with females for whatever reason. And these females, whether friends, female strangers or not, they will be aggressive towards the individual that has this Mars Venus conjunction. The positive side with this conjunction, and as you can see in LeBron James's chart, he has this conjunction, but there aren't any sort of reports regarding him and Savannah fighting or being abusive towards each other. The positive side, and he demonstrates his positive side very well, is that Mars shows what we protect. So a person with this, especially a guy, they become very overprotective in relationships. Sometimes that overprotection can lead to abuse also, but in LeBron James's case, it has a very positive effect, and it didn't lead to any sort of abuse. But this can show someone being very overprotective of the females in their lives, especially a guy that has this, because then this guy will be very overprotective over his wives or girlfriends. And when I say overprotective, I'm meaning like they're ready to fight, go to war over their wives or girlfriends. What came to my mind just now regarding this conjunction are those women we see on Zeus, like those bodies, and those girls who used to be on Bar Girls Club. Remember, they always used to be fighting and arguing with females. So a lot of those females could have had this type of conjunction, or those scenarios would be a good representation of arguments with females that this conjunction causes. Another positive, and who knows, it could probably be something that's negative, but a person with this would be very overprotective of the females in their life, whether a female or a male has this conjunction. Venus shows what we design, and it represents beauty, whereas Mars will make a person put their physical energy into increasing the beauty or using their physical energy to design something. It doesn't exactly have to be beauty related to the physical body, but beauty and designer things related to the house that this conjunction is placed in. So, for example, if this conjunction is in the fourth house, then this can show a person puts their physical efforts into designing things in the house or in the home environment. So, like a construction worker can have this. Someone that knows trade skills related to building, like plumbing, also. Those people that do those DIY home tutorial videos where they do painting and plastering, stuff like that. I mentioned WWE wrestlers in the beginning, so let me use The Rock as an example. Dwayne Johnson. Well, as you can see in his sidereal chart, he has this conjunction in his 10th house. And one of the major things that WWE wrestlers used to rely on in order to excel in wrestling is their appearance. So, since this conjunction is in the 10th house, it would make a guy like The Rock put a lot of energy into beautifying his appearance for his career and work environments. You could see that Venus rules his second house of speech, so this conjunction for him definitely put more emphasis on having an influence over how he would do his promos whenever he did WWE. And he was one of the best promo cutters in WWE's history, even to this date. And when you look at when The Rock's career first began in the WWE, you would see that the way he would present himself definitely was a major success in his career. So, for example, some of his gimmicks revolved around his beauty and the type of beauty he would present for his career. Like when he first joined the corporation was a group in the WWE at the time. The Rock even had a gimmick where he would always dress up in designer clothes. He had a Hollywood Rock gimmick. So it shows that he put a lot of energy into beauty and designing things regarding his career, because it is placed in the 10th house of career and public image and fame for your career. So he obviously wanted to be publicly recognized as that WWE wrestler that always looked good. One thing you have to be cautious with this conjunction are attracting females. It could be female strangers in a grocery store. Those females will be very aggressive towards you, even if you did nothing wrong, whatever the deal may be. So in this lifetime, you would attract a lot of argumentative females that will for sure be angry and aggressive a lot. Another positive with this conjunction, since a person is putting their energy into love and relationships, this could make someone be a very passionate lover. It could be someone that tries and put their all into a relationship. So, for example, you see like Valentine's Day, a guy goes out of their way to impress a female. This would occur constantly on a daily basis if you date someone that has a Mars-Venus conjunction. I think people with this conjunction could be very romantic. Anyways, follow me on the other apps. There will be more videos to come.